All right, guys, I've got you another great rack. This one is extremely irregular. I had to pull it outside in the heat, but we're going to get it done. Now, as always, I'm going to get you to tell me, what do you think the score on this one is? What do you think? I'm giving you 4 scores right here. What do you think the score of this big, I think I've got 16, 17 points, just eyeballing it. What do you think? I'm thinking it's going to be better than what you think. So you guys hold tight. We're going to talk about the story on this deer, and we're going to show you how to score it coming up. All right, guys, so I've already made my marks like I always do on these racks. I want to go ahead and get that taken care of before I get started to save you a little bit of time. So we're going to count the points real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Looks like it's going to be 17 scoreable points. There may be one over here that I don't know if it's going to make it or not, but we're going to find out. So without further ado, let's get started. And I got the deer already set up on the wrong side, but we're going to follow. We're going to do it anyway. I usually start on the right side. We're going to start on the left-hand side. We're going to go with the main beam. Always follow the pedicle, the lowest pedicle on the beam itself, guys. And then ease on up that rack. Now, I live in rural North Louisiana. You're going to hear some cars come by while I'm out here. You're probably going to hear a log truck or two. You probably liable to hear a good old boy with some pipes on his truck. Who knows? You may even hear him honk that horn at me. You know, I'm the gatekeeper here of what we call Washita City. And folks, we got folks come by all the time. Pretty good main beams on this deer. This deer came out of Texas. This is a low fence Texas buck. Not high fence, low fence. The guy was out there hunting and he had to have a guide go with him. Property owner really likes to manage what comes off his place. So this is not a high fence deer at all. Okay, let's go on and clarify that. All right, the main beam measurement on the left hand side, 23 0/8. 23 0/8 for the left hand side main beam. I got me a show enough score sheet this time. So I told you before, I'm not a big tape guy. I don't much care for tape, okay? So, but I'm going to use tape on this one. And the reason I'm going to use tape is because I've got all these irregular points and I got to know which ones I've scored and which ones I haven't. So as I score them, I will put tape on there. What I'm going to do for you, for the pictures, is when I call out, like, let's just say, like the irregular first point is right here. I'm going to put a number 1 on there. So when I take the pictures, you'll know which ones I'm talking about. So let's do the irregular point on this side, on the left-hand side. You're like, gee, it's got an irregular point. Yeah, it's got an irregular point over here. It looks typical, but it doesn't grow off the main beam. This actually grows off the P2. So the first irregular point on this rack, it's on the right, it is the right-hand side. What am I talking about? On the right-hand side, I'm going to have to change my, over there. We're going to go 5 2/8. 5 2/8 for the first irregular point on the right-hand side. 5 2/8. I'm going to change my 23 0/8. Okay. Now let's get the P1. Now I'm a sweat, okay? It's hot out here. This is North Louisiana in the summertime. And it's hot and I'm probably going to go to sweating. But hey, that is what it is. All right? I had a fan on earlier. That fan was hot. Blowing that hot air. And it makes too much noise. 4 4/8 for the P1. 4 4/8. That was kind of hard to see. 4 4/8. All right. So let's go with the P2, which is going to be this long one right here. This is the one that actually grows off the main beam. It's a good long point, so this should help that deer score well. We're going to go with 11 2/8. 11 2/8 on the P2. All right. So now we're going to go to the circumference measurement, guys. They're not hard. This is going to be scored like a 6 point. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Remember, every deer gets 4 circumference measurements. 4 circumference measurements. The first one's coming around the base here. First circumference measurement on the right-hand side, 5 0/8. Get my pen, and we're going to go 5 0/8 on the C1. All right, C2. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky, guys. This is where it gets a little tricky because you want to do, you know what I told you with an 8-point, you go out and you divide it in half for the 4 circumference measurement. With a 6-point, you do it in thirds. So you figure out where the tine comes into the main beam, and then you go out, and this one comes out to exactly 12 inches. So if I'm going to break it into thirds, I'm going to go 4 inches and 8 inches. So I'm going to make my mark on the 4-inch mark. Yeah. And then I'm going to come out here at 8. Hold that. Follow this, and we're going to go to 8. That sun's going to peek in and out, so I don't know what it'll do to this video. I hope it stays good. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm going to take my second one real quick, because you take your first one here, second one is always after the brow tine on the main beam. You're looking for the smallest spot. That right there is 4 and 4. There we go, 4 and 0. 4 and 0. 4, hold on now. 3 and 7/8. I know he ain't gonna be happy with that, but 3 and 7/8. 3 and 7/8, and I made my mark here at the 4-inch mark. This one here is going to be 3 and 4/8. And the next one is going to be 2 and 7/8. 2 and 6/8. We're gonna go 2 and 6/8. All right. So now let's do some irregularity on this side. This is where it gets a little tricky. I tell you what I may do. I'm gonna run it like it is. I'm gonna run the camera like it is. We'll see how it goes. I hope it looks good. If it don't, my fault. All right, so I know where this grows from, but I gotta go from the bottom and follow the curvature, right? So if I start right there, this point, which will be the 1, and I'm gonna have to get down here where I can see what I'm doing. 5, looks like it's gonna be 5 and 2/8. So I'm gonna put number 1 on that one. And my magic marker and put 1. And that's gonna be 5 and 2/8 for the irregular on the left-hand side. 5 and 2/8. Okay. Let me get my next tape measure. The next one is gonna be this long one right here. And there's no rhyme. I mean, you just take and do what you want to, but I picked, this is how I picked it. We're going to go 7 and 2/8. 7 and 2/8. 7 and 2/8 for number 2. 7 and 2/8. All right. Let's look up number 3. Right here. 3. That ain't worth it. That don't even look like a 3. 3. That's a little bit better. Let's see what this one looks like. 6 and 2/8. 6 and 2/8. All right. Let's do number 4, which is right here. We're going to call this one number 4. 4 and 6/8. Number 4. 4 6/8. And we're going to do number 5. We'll call this dude right here number 5. Ain't going to be a whole lot of storytelling on this one because we got so much ground to cover. Number 5. All the way here. It's a good point. Will help this deer score well. Number 5 is 12. 12 1/8. 12 1/8. All right. Let's go to number 6. It's going to be this one right here. All right. Got that one. Number 6. 3 1/8 for number 6. 3 1/8. Let's see what number 7 looks like. Let me get my tape measure. This one here is going to be number 7. My light went off. One 4/8. Number 7. 1 4/8. And let me see what this one over here. There's one over here that I marked. I don't know that it'll make 1 inch. We're going to see. Yes, it is 1. Let me see. 1 2/8. 1 2/8. And that's going to be number 8. Okay. 1 2/8. 1 2/8. Put that down as number 8. So we've got all the irregular points measured. 8 irregular points. I've got 8 irregular points here. Now let's go get the main beam real quick. It's not hard to tell me which one's the main beam. The way you determine the main beam is how? Well, typical points. Whichever thing grows off typical points. Well, these are typical points. Okay, so the main beam is going to come here, up, and around. So I'm going to go ahead and get that main beam right now. It's not much of a main beam as far as thickness, but it's still good. It's long. It's very long, longer than I anticipated, now that I get to looking at it good. This one's going to be a difficult edit with all these irregular points, but I wanted to do one, man. I wanted to show you guys kind of what it looked like. All right. Let's see. And I am sweating like the devil, y'all. Whoo, Lord, it's hot out here. Humid, 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 humid. Longer than I thought it was. 20 4/8 for the main beam. Let me make sure. Yeah, hold on. Well, I want this to work right. Yeah, 20 4/8. All right, let's get some circumference measurements on it while I'm here. This circumference measurements on this one will be easy. Not hard at all. About the only one I can say on this is 5 3/8. Ain't but one way to do that one. 5 3/8 for the first circumference measurement. 5 3/8, 3 3/8 for the second circumference measurement. 3 3/8. Now I haven't done the tines yet. You're like, well, gee, why ain't you done the tines yet? I want to get the circumference measurements. 3 2/8. You ain't got to go in any rules like that. There ain't no rule says you got to do that. One, two, three, and the last one will be right here, number 4. 2 4/8. 2 4/8. Now, when it comes to the brow tine, and I'm gonna get the camera and show you a little bit better. Amongst all this mess has got to be a brow tine. Should be a brow tine somewhere in here, and there is. The way you find which one is the brow tine is you look at which one mirrors this one right here, and the tallest one here, and it grows from down here. You can feel it, and I'll show you a little bit better when I get a close up on the camera. You can come here and all the way up, and that's going to be your brow tine. I went on this side, on the inside, because it kind of leans that way, but this cluster makes it stop. The longer measurement is going, the better, more true measurement, because you can tell it grows from right here. It's going to be from there. That's why I did this one on the inside, and I dropped my tape measure down here. So there's your, and I'll show you, you know, on a better up. When you did the video, I just showed you a little bit of a better up. About 8. Oh, hold on, is that 7 7/8? Yeah, it's going to be 7 7/8. 7 7/8, where my top of my pencil mark was started. 7 7/8. The next time, next typical point, 5 4/8. 5 4/8. The next one, 5 3/8. And then the last one, 2 4/8. Yeah, 2 4/8. 2 4/8. Let's get that inside spread real quick. Let's get the inside spread. Now, it's hard to get inside spread on something like this because you got to stay between the main beams, right? So let's see if we can do that. I'm going to have to crank this old thing out here a little bit. And a little bit too much, G. Let's pull it down 19. We can go straight across, just like this. I'm straight across. Now people are like, you're cocked up. Yeah, I'm cocked up. I'm between the dadgum main beams, okay? I'm between the main beams. Can you not see I'm between the main beams? And I'm parallel as parallel can get. 15, 19, 24 0/8. It's just past the 7/8 mark. So I'm going to say 24 0/8. So you've seen it, folks. You've seen it. We've got how many? 24. Let me write this down before I forget. 24 0/8 for the inside spread. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 scoreable points. We got a 24-inch inside spread. We got 5-inch bases. What do you think this deer will score? Tail of the tape coming up. All right, guys, I've got the tail of the tape, and it was a whole lot better than what I thought it was. Okay, are you ready? On the right-hand side, we had one irregular point that was 5 2/8 inches long. We had a main beam that was 23 0/8. The longest typical tine, well, the only typical tine beside the brow tine, is this one right here, the P2, 11 2/8. The base, 5 0/8 inch base. The total inches of antler for this side, 59 and 1/8. Now let me tell you where it gets impressive. Right here. Of course, we knew that going in. This was going to be the strongest side. This deer has 8 scoreable points that are irregular on the left-hand side. The longest one being this one right here that went 12 and 1/8. The total inches of irregularity on this side, 41 and 4/8 inches. That is incredible. That helped this deer score well. Main beam on this side, which comes from here up to here, this is what I'm calling the main beam, 20 and 4/8. The brow tine, this one right here, 7 and 7/8. The bases, 5 and 3/8 was the base. The total inches of antler on this side, 97 and 6/8. I almost said 70, but it's 97 and 6/8. So you take out 97 and 6/8, add it to that 59 and 1/8, you get a total inches of antler of 156 and 7/8. Then, if you add the inside spread of 24 and 0/8, the Buckmaster score of total inches of antler with the inside spread, 180 and 7/8. An incredible score for this incredible deer that came out of Texas in a low fence hunt. This was not a high fence. Now, the guy, he had him a guide with him because the property owner doesn't want anybody just taking anything off his place. So he had somebody out there with him. So this deer would be considered fair chase. Here you go, man. Beautiful specimen right here. Jacked up. If you like jacked up racks, this is the deer. My name is Greg Hicks. This is the Antlers and Hicks podcast. And as always, I want to encourage you guys to live your life past 20 yards. We'll see y'all next time.